Now, I know it's a bit boring to include him, but when he pulls off natural AI blocks like this, like, how can you not? He is so cheap too. If you need to get your hands on some coins to improve your ultimate team, then check out the link in the description, igvault.com, and if you use the code Kieran at checkout, you'll get yourself a pretty nice discount. So, the other day, I uploaded my top 10 goalkeepers in FIFA 21 Ultimate Team, and in this video today, we are now going to do another top 10, but for a different position. We are going to talk about my top 10 centre-backs in FIFA 21. Now, as always, I will invite you guys to participate in this video by leaving a comment down below. I want to hear from you. Who are your favourite centre-backs so far in FIFA 21? And also, which position should we cover next in this series? Also, do remember, when you see my top 10, do bear in mind that in this ranking, we do actually include price as a variable. So, for instance, a player who might be the best centre-back in the game, let's say he's 10 million coins, he might not actually be my number one just because his price is obviously so much more than other players. Value for money is definitely considered in this ranking. So, let's go. In at number 10 is an item that some people might actually be surprised to see. I have gone for Rulebreakers Opara. Pretty much, if this guy was easy to get into sides, like top level sides, he would feature a lot. He's a very good in-game item, and obviously a lot of that does come down to the fact that he's absolutely rapid in-game. If he was in like a Premier League, like he would be well into like the 3, maybe 4, probably 500k mark just because of his pace alone. He's also got pretty solid defensive stats and some nice physicals as well, and with an anchor chem style applied, this card actually looks absolutely outstanding even for a card as low rated as this. It's a really nice item, and if you haven't tried it already, I do recommend it, because even at this stage of the game, it's still a really effective item, and you actually do see it a lot in objectives when people do managerial masterpiece. A lot of people do actually sub him on as a centre back. Just ahead of Opara in at 9 is actually a recent item. It's Future Stars Tapsoba, who he's just a really good card. He's obviously not easy to link into sides because he doesn't really have too many good green links, but it's a really good centre-back item, and if he was easier to link, I think he would be around the million coin mark. He's currently around 600k, which is obviously still a very hefty price tag for a centre-back, but there's a reason he's expensive. His card is amazing, and in-game, he is just an absolute monster. Elite defending for most part, especially with the anchor chem style, ridiculously good physicals also, and his pace is obviously a huge factor, which is going to be the case with most top-tier centre-backs in this game. It's just a really nice card. Is it the best Bundesliga centre-back currently available in FIFA 21? No, that player is up next. And that player, at least for me anyway, is Player Moments Jerome Boateng, who is just an outstanding centre-back. Like, in-game with the anchor or shadow chem style, he's actually a 95 rated centre-back. Really nice physicals, ridiculous strength, which is pretty much end game, very good defensive stats, and also really nice pace. Now, he's not actually as fast as Tapsoba, but in game he's just a bit better defensively. I think his reactions are muchly improved, and I feel like that's probably the thing that just edges him ahead of Tapsoba. And yeah, Boateng's a monster, and I believe when he came out he only cost 250k, and I did it, and I still don't even use this Boateng much anymore just because of how my team's currently set up, but I have no regrets over doing this Boateng, because I know if I change to a Bundesliga side, he will 100% be one of the first names that I put into my team. He is class, and if you guys did complete the SBC to get this Boateng, I'd love to hear your experience with him. Also, obviously this card comes with a lot of very good strong links. Obviously Neuer is an obvious one, Team D, Alphonso Davies another, Leon Goretzka another, and they don't just have to be Bayern Munich players, of course, and this guy does of course strong link to players like Road to the Final Klosterman, who doesn't actually feature in my top 10, but is a very good centre-back. Well, here he is. You knew this guy was going to feature in this video, because how could he not? How could he not? In terms of value for money, he is right up there with the best players in this year's game, at this current point especially. You can get one of the most OP defenders in the game for 6k, and yeah, obviously at that price he is absolute value for money. Now, I know it's super boring having him in your teams, but because pretty much everyone has him, but he's an effective card. Like, there is no doubt about that. I feel like in the past month or so he's like slowly come off the power curve a bit, but still a brilliant card, and if you're just starting out in Ultimate Team, it's a no-brainer to have this guy in your side, whether it be his non-inform or his inform. And I actually did try out the inform, and if I'm being honest, I don't actually think it's much better than the non-inform, but that's because the non-inform is so damn good. It's actually irritating how good the item is when you come up against it. So yeah, it was obvious Joe Gomez was going to feature in this video. Now, I don't know on what end of the scale this next selection will surprise people. I don't know whether they'll be surprised to see him this high or this low on my list. It's Team of the Year Sergio Ramos, and I don't know what it is this year, but Ramos just isn't as good as he was in previous years for me. Like, he's still very, very good, don't get me wrong, there's a reason he's still in this video, but compared to previous years, his card just is a little bit disappointing compared to them, but still an outstanding item, and it's a Team of the Year card. What did you expect? It was obvious it was going to feature in this video at some point. Brilliant card, but yeah, I do feel like there are a couple of centre-backs ahead of him, not just in terms of value for money, but also in terms of in-game ability. Now seems a good time in this video to re-emphasise the point I made at the start, that value for money does come into play in these rankings, and that's why Road to the Final Koundé is up next and ahead of Sergio Ramos. I hate this card. I absolutely hate coming up against it, and do you know why? One, because it's absolutely brilliant, and two, because I didn't unlock it on my main account. I have used it numerous times when I go onto my second account, but I didn't get it on my main, and I really do regret it because he's an absolute beast in game, and it's one of the cards I just absolutely hate coming up against because he's so quick in game, he's so strong, and defensively he's just an absolute beast. Obviously in terms of value for money, he's excellent because he was free. So yeah, if you didn't unlock that card, like me, you definitely should be feeling a bit of regret about that one because yeah, that was probably one of the best objective items in FIFA 21 so far this year, if not the best. In at number 4, just missing out on a top 3 spot, is What If Chris Smalling, who is just ridiculous in game. He's fast, he's strong, defensively he's an absolute monster, and he's pretty huge in game as well. He's an aerial beast. And it's worth mentioning, I actually have the 88 rated version in my club. I got it untradeable from a play pick, but that's not even his final form. This Wednesday he gets boosted to 90 rated, and at that point he's going to become even better. This is without doubt the best Serie A centre-back in the game, and it's going to get even better, and it's definitely an end-game centre-back. Even at Team of the Season, this card will be a very viable option for Serie A sides, and as I say, feeling pretty lucky to have this guy as an untradeable in my club, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of game time out of him over the next few months. Okay, it's time to talk about the top 3, and in the 3rd place spot, I've actually got Inform Kyle Walker, and it's pretty obvious to see why he's here. His pace is ridiculous, a 93 paced centre-back, and that's without a chem style as well. Like, you can add Anchor or Shadow or whatever to max out his pace if you really want to. You don't need to, but you can obviously do that. And he's just a nightmare to get past because he's so quick, and to be honest, his defensive stats aren't even that good. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not great. But because he's just so quick, like, even if he misses a tackle, he's got the pace to recover to have another go, and probably another go. I hate playing against him. There's a reason he costs so much on the market for an 86 overall. He's a million coins on the PlayStation, and you see this guy feature in a lot of pro player teams for a good reason. He's yeah, he's an absolute menace in this game. Just missing out on the number 1 spot for me is Team of the Year Virgil van Dijk, who is obviously mad. He's a Team of the Year card. He's going to be pretty good, and in game he's obviously an absolute monster. I do have to say this though, in FIFA 21 Van Dijk is nowhere near as good as he was in FIFA 20, and if we're going to include talking about the non-informs as well, I don't actually think non-informed Van Dijk is all that great this year. His Team of the Year card is definitely, you know, top tier, but his normal item, although it is a very good centre-back card, I don't think it's that great for his overall rating. He just doesn't turn as quick. But the Team of the Year card obviously has much upgraded stats, and it is without doubt a top 3 centre-back in pretty much everyone's eyes in the game. I say top 3 because obviously we don't include icons in these videos. But anyway, in at number 2, Team of the Year Van Dijk, I don't think anyone will be shocked. If people are shocked to see him in number 2, they're probably just surprised that he's not number 1. So who is at number 1? It is actually Road to the Final Varane. Now, he was obviously going to feature at some point in this video. The most common centre-back pairing in this year's Ultimate Team is Joe Gomez and Varane, and there's good reason for it. They're both ridiculously good in game. Now, non-informed Varane could have made this list by himself, but he's got an upgraded version in the game, and it's a Road to the Final Varane, and it is a ridiculous item that still might get upgraded even further, and it could actually get really, really high rated. Now, this is another one where I was ridiculously lucky. I actually packed this card. And yeah, I've used him ever since. He's just stupid in game. And the thing is, like, even though this card is lower rated than Team of the Year Van Dijk and Ramos, in game it just feels quicker, not just in terms of pace, but also on the turn and when reacting. And that's why he's #1 for me. He's stupid in game. He's actually stupid playing with him. He just makes ridiculous blocks. He's quick, he's strong, he's solid in one-on-one situations, and aerially he's a monster. And yeah, as I said, this card is going to get upgraded even more throughout the year as well, so it's going to get even better. Without a doubt, an endgame centre-back already, and the fact that it's going to get upgraded even more is just ridiculous. So guys, those are my top 10 centre-backs in FIFA 21 Ultimate Team thus far. I will obviously update this list at some point in the future, probably around Team of the Season time, but for now, those are my top 10. I would love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Let me know who you agree and disagree with, and also give me your top 10, or at least your top 5, because then we can at least have a conversation. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, especially the way that I've ranked them, especially when including value for money as well, but yeah, would love to hear your guys' thoughts, of course, so be sure to be active in the comments. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up there. If you could leave a like rating on the video, that'd be absolutely great. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here, and also let me know which position we should cover next. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.